Hey there, it's Kay, and thank you so much for joining me for today's budgeting video. I have my skinny mini and I have some tracking stickers because I'm going to be sharing with you guys and tracking my variable spending for the first 3 weeks of October 2021. And I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job so far with nothing too crazy except for, well, one exception. So why don't I just hop right into this variable check-in. So here we are on the monthly spread, and as you can see, it's still fairly blank because it only has the fixed expenses in. So what I'm actually going to do, which is a little different than how I've normally done these check-ins, is I'm going to add all of the expenses to the calendar first, and then I'll go in and do all 3 weeks, week by week, secondarily. So I'm going to go ahead and add everything to the calendar first. So I'm going to need my trackers, and I have my skinny mini, which is where I track my spending on a day-to-day basis. So I've actually started to add in the corners here the week number and where I'm starting out. So I have week 1, week 2, and week 3 to go through here. And week 1 is a short one. And it was only food expenses. So I had Pizza Hut for $37.42. And then I had a grocery haul at Hannaford for $115 even. So for week 1, that was it. I'm gonna go ahead and add these. So Pizza Hut was on the 1st. Hannaford was on the 3rd. And Saturday is a no spend. So then let's move on into week number 2. This week was pretty uneventful as well. My biggest expense was a sinking fund expense. I took out of my car maintenance some money to buy a dash cam after my accident because I just can't trust people on the road anymore. So I did do some allowance spending at Joann for $14.03, and then I got gas at Shell for $22.68. So I'm going to go ahead and add those, and it looks like I'll have a lot of no spends to add. So this was on the 4th. And then Tuesday the 5th. And I didn't bring any stickers with me to notate my sinking fund spending on here, but I do have a new sinking fund spending tracker that I can go ahead and add this to. So I'm going to say it's dash cam, which I did get at Best Buy because I had a certificate, a reward certificate, so that's not the total cost of the dash cam, it was more, but it was $82.29, but I take it out in a whole dollar amount, so it'll be $83. So that's that for the entire week, and then everything else was a no spend, so that's really good. Also, please forgive my voice if it's extra hoarse and raspy. It's really late at night, and I'm trying to film this before I go away to work for the week. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these no spins. Let me use up these ones first on the bottom. So we have the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and even the 10th. So then I have one more week to go through, week number 3, and that's where the one thing came up, but we'll get there. So let's see, Tuesday I got food at Market Basket for $21.30, and then I got gas at Shell for $18.50. So that was all on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I got lunch at McDonald's for $8.95. And then I went to Joann with allowance for $14.11. And that was a Wednesday, both of these. And then Thursday's expense, it's kind of crazy. So Petco, I spent $145.44. Hopefully that fits in this box here. Basically, I've been extremely worried about these supply chain shortages, especially when it comes to my cat's food and his health. I was able to find 3 cases of his food in the city that I was in for work, and it's completely sold out here in New Hampshire. So conveniently, I was just in the only place that had it, and so I bought all 3 cases, and it came out to $145.44. What I did was I put in 3 separate orders because they have a deal where if you spend like $50, you get 20% off or something. So I just put it in so that I got 20% off of each case. So it could have actually been a lot more, but it's still way over my pet budget for the month. But I really want to be safe rather than sorry when it comes to him because he has a special diet. And so I basically got my hands on like a 2-month supply of this special food for him. So as much as I've like gone way over budget on it, I'm like not even gonna be mad about it. And I even thought about taking it out of the vet sinking fund that I have, which is gonna turn into just a cat sinking fund. So that's the story with that expense. That being said, going forward for November and December, I won't have to budget that much for pet stuff, just for like litter and other things. So my pet budget will be decreased in the next couple months because I already have a couple months supply of food now. So that's another way it can even out. But let's see, this was on Thursday. And then Friday, nothing too crazy. I got some gas at Shell on my way on to school. So $21.50. And then back from school, I got lunch at Popeyes, $11.71. And speaking of supply chain issues, our Popeyes do not have chicken sandwiches. Very, very sad. They're all out. So I probably won't be going there anytime soon. But yeah, that was Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday are no spends to also go along with Monday. So I had 3 no spends for the 3rd week. So I have one more orange to use. I'm gonna put that there and then just move into yellow. I have so many no spends this month, I feel like. It's gonna be interesting to see how the numbers look on the check-in. So that's gonna be it for the monthly spread here, other than checking off all my auto pay bills because I know they've already gone through. So we're good on those. And laundry, I actually haven't touched my laundry card yet. I haven't taken the money out for it either. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm gonna move into the weekly check-in sheet here. And I'm just gonna use the numbers off my Skinny Mini. So I have to go back into September to get here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use my erasable markers over here. So I don't think the orange is gonna show up very good on camera. I'm gonna use brown. So we're gonna go over week 1, 2, and 3. And my categories are allowance, gas, food, laundry, and pet. And the amounts that I've added, so coming into week 1, are off my paycheck number 1 budget. So $60 for allowance, $100 for gas, $300 for food, $40 for laundry, and $80 for pets. And I've already said I haven't touched my laundry, so that balance is just gonna carry down. Next, for allowance, I didn't spend anything on the first week, so I had 60, and then on the second week is when I started spending. I spent $14.03. I didn't add anything. And then on the second week I didn't add anything and I spent $14.11. So I'm going to be using the calculator on my phone because I've already packed up my big calculator in my school bag for travel. So I started with $60 in allowance. First week I spent $14.03. So that left originally $45.97, and then I spent $14.11, so that leaves $31.86, and it looks like you can't really see that on camera, so I'm just gonna keep it off to the side here for myself then. So then that's allowance all done. Let's move on to gas, which I didn't spend on the first week. It was just food. Yep. So I didn't spend anything on gas. Then I didn't add anything. So I spent on the second week $22.68. And then on the third week I had 2 gas purchases. So $18.50 plus $21.50. So $39 plus 1. So it's an even $40. Okay, that works out pretty good. Nice numbers here. So let me go ahead and first calculate the 100 minus 22.68, left 77.32, and then minus 40 would be 37.32. I almost wrote 37.42. 37.32. So next, let's move on to food, which is usually my biggest category where I spend the most money. And so the first week, I already wrote it down here. I ended up spending a total of $142.52. So I just gotta go ahead and subtract that. So I started with 300 minus 142.52, 157.48. And then I gotta go back to the second week I didn't spend anything in food, so that's good. Didn't add anything and I didn't spend anything. So moving on to the third week, I didn't add anything and I didn't add up how much I spent. So I'm gonna do that on my phone really quick. So I spent $41.96. And I had 157.48 subtract 41.96 leaves 115.52. So I'm doing pretty good there for being mostly done the month here. Gas I'm getting really worried about. And then obviously let's take a look at pet to see how bad I went over. Pet is easy because the first 2 weeks I didn't spend anything, so those balances carried over, but then I spent $145.44. So I grabbed a red pen because obviously I've gone way over. So let's see, I had 80, I did 145, so 14 minus 8 is 60, then 65.44. Yikes, that's a really big deficit there. I almost went double the budget. I'll have to remember for next time that I want to do that, to try to make sure that I use my sinking funds credit card so that I can pay it off with cash instead and just take the money out of my cat sinking fund, because that's ideally what the vet fund is turning into and will be used for. And so then I wouldn't have to worry about going over budget the next time a situation like this occurs again. But things are just getting really whack out there, and I'd rather be safe than sorry and have 2.5 months worth of food on hand. Plus, like I said, the offside is that for the next couple months my pet budget will be lower because I won't have to think about budgeting for food. So yeah, I am spending more money up front now, but it will be a little less money that I'll have to spend in the near future. So that should even itself out for me over time. But yeah, looking at things so far, other than the pet thing, I am doing really good. I haven't used my laundry money yet. It's still in my checking account. I haven't even pulled the cash out. I still have a good amount for food. I am kind of a little nervous about the gas budget, but I might be able to make it squeeze out a little bit. And I'm still doing pretty good on my allowance. And I did decrease a few of these amounts for this month's budget compared to previous budgets. So I'm really hoping that these lower amounts work out for me so that going forward I can continue to lower my variable spending. But if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to support me and my content on my journey, make sure you're subscribed, like the video. You can also find my budget printables on my Etsy shop, which is KayPlannerPrintables. And I need to go to bed now, so I hope to see you down in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.